Sunshine, and this is the Playground Experience Sandbox Q&A Live. I have here my lovely co-host, April Williams. Yay!
Aloha.
And my other lovely co-host, Kathy D. Yay! All right then. So we are continuing on with our topic of talking about the energies, and as usual, we morph into other things. So please feel welcome to put your comments down in the comment section as well, so that we can get some more dialogue going here. We don't want to just talk amongst ourselves. So make sure that you are doing that and talking on the side. So as usual, I always ask you all, did you have any aha moments or anything else that came to mind as far as you talking about the energies? I've seen everybody took away that comment that I talked about. It's about when you respond. It's more about how you respond than more than you react. I've seen a lot of comments about that, and that is true about these energies that's going on now. This is where we are. We know that we have a lot, and it should be kind of dovetailing itself out. And earlier, while I was cooking, it came to me. I said, "Oh, now I see why they say August is going to be fireworks, because it was a lot of fireworks that popped off."
Mm-hmm.
Popping. We be
uh,
popping.
we
Do you want these hands? Let
we
me
be
pop you
popping.
something.
We be popping. No, seriously. We
Let
be popping
me take
popcorn over
these off. Get me
here.
started. Come on now. No. It was very intense. And when you were talking
Yeah.
about that weird circle round, like there are people who are pretending that they're for you, and their true self shows because you feel tapped when you're done talking to them, and you think
Yeah.
you're insisting, and it's not. It's like a weird domino thing where everyone's trying to feed off of each other in that sense, like, and then you're looking for stability, or
Mm-hmm.
even it's. I found that certain people like to victimize themselves, and then get you to the point where you're just you don't want to deal with it anymore. So then they turn that
Yeah.
into the further victimization. And it's just like,
Right.
oh, now you got jokes. Spirit got jokes right now, because now I really have to keep my boundaries up because somebody just wants to step all over them and work me into a space that is like, oh wait, I still let myself go there though. Right. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
never gonna fully say, oh, it's all them. They just pushed me into that little
Uh-huh.
vortex. And it's like, no, it's okay, it's all right, we got this. It was very interesting and trying, but I got to see the lovely Sean Barker yesterday, and we bring Extropic Esoterica on here again soon. Wink,
Yes.
wink. Foreshadowing, but how far is that shadow? I
He
have
doing
school
that.
just started and physics class just barely began. So who's ready with the shadow and the meniscus? I'm just kidding. It has nothing to do with it. But
I was like, huh?
oh, the foreshadowing, right? Because anyway, I'm explaining a bad joke. If it wasn't good joke, and if I have to explain it, it's just ooh.
Congratulations, females to
Welcome
Sandbox.
everybody. Welcome to the Sandbox.
Yeah. Hey, Sha. Oh my God, you made it to one of our lives. I love it. I love it. That's
And she
phenomenal.
keeps faking like she got good energy, right? She keeps faking like she got that good energy. She keeps doing it, but And our goal is not to not say nothing, but to hold the space of being present. This is really weird because I've been having all kinds of interesting issues with my router. I could see me lagging even. Am I cutting off to
Yeah.
you guys?
Mm-mm.
No, you pretty good. All
All right,
right.
cool. I'm watching our live at the same time that I'm
Oh,
watching
Oh yeah,
our.
we all lag on that.
yeah, you're gonna lag on that. You gotta have that 30-second delay.
I look like a
Mm-hmm.
brown ghost, like I'm Casper, the chocolate colored ghost over here. Just
But you're a cute ghost. You're a cute ghost. Just working
Welcome
with
to the
those.
sandbox. Welcome to the sandbox.
Yeah, but like you
Well,
said, it has been that kind of way, and it's interesting. And to be honest with you, I have seen twin flames, non-twin flames, and twin flames that have not been identified go through the same cookie cutter pattern of issues, and it's just like, well, you reading off my script? I mean, it's like the same script, different characters. It's like we can sit there and compare notes. Instead of, they might swap characters, but it's the same elements of ingredients of where the fireworks had happened. And I find this fascinating. I mean, it's just like I see Tenacious Ski Man said the same thing. It sounded like the girlfriend, his mom's girlfriend, doing stuff like that. And so it's just like whoa, went to get my hair done. She doing the same. I'm like, I experienced the same thing. What is this? So I mean, we got really some same kind of coffee pots. We must all went to Target to buy the same coffee pot, stuffed up the same way. Kathy D, you the Jedi mind stuff. I mean, can you explain this phenomenon? What the heck going on?
It really is it's the energies, and they're pushing our personal triggers.
Okay.
This is where the fireworks are coming in, and it's pushing our, let me try that again. It's pushing our personal triggers, and it's, you know, whether it's a divine masculine, whether it's family, whatever's around us, but it's bringing in, you know, it's affecting them, but it's pushing us to set our boundaries. It's pushing us to do a lot of these things that don't affect the union, shall we say. I mean, it does in term effect, but it affects us in our personal union foremost.
For ourselves. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then by doing that, that's removing some of that scum and scale off the bottom of the coffee pot, which in turn then affects the, you know, divine union. So but it's really being a focus on ourselves. And I think we kind of saw that. I've heard other people talk about that with the new moon, that this was really to be a focus on us.
Yeah.
And that we're to be moving ahead. And how many, I mean, you hear it all the time. We've said it. I know Jupiter 1111 said it. I know Divine Sunshine said it. We've all said it, that, you know, we can't stop and wait. It's one thing to hold space, but you've got to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to keep that momentum, because when we stop, that momentum stops. And then we stand there and we're like, well, why isn't anything it was happening, now why is it not happening? What's going on? He was calling, or he was texting, or I was, you know, feeling more on the 5D from him. And then we get excited and we stop and we just wait, and nothing happens. Because we've stopped that snowball.
I can see a couple of ways for the stopping, because sometimes you if you're just plugging along and you're pushing forward, sometimes you get that pushback if you're not ready to hold the vibration or hold the line. So if you have to stop to kind of recalibrate that as your new normal, that as your new space, and then allow yourself to keep going from there, that's fine. But if you're doing I'm pushing forward, but then I go back 5 steps, you know, like that's when she's, I think, talking about melting into that space of like completely stopping your momentum. Like, okay, I did all the work. I'm good. I feel the vibes and I'm just going to go. And it's like, no, you got to keep going, right? Because then you're holding that vibrational space versus letting it go or putting it off.
And it's the waiting. That's what we've got to kind of get over. And because we've been told through this whole thing, no matter where you've checked in on this adventure, they're going to catch up. They're going to meet up with us. So we don't have to wait for them. Ladies, we are, and gentlemen, we are magnificent, amazing human beings. Everybody on this, whether it's a twin flame or it's a soulmate or it's just a relationship or you're just trying to figure out how to love yourself, whatever path you're on, you are an amazing being that should not have to wait for anyone. Because the universe has everything planned out. They have everything under control. You know, it is already written in the stars. And so you just keep moving where you need you need to go. Is it self-help? Is it do you have to work on boundaries? Is it, like we talked the other day, is it shadow stuff? Are there still some of those little, creepy boogery shadow stuff that's coming up? Whatever it is, work on it. We know what the outcome is, because once we're in union with ourselves, we have our soul family, we're in union, that way. We know what we know what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't be convinced otherwise. And people might think,
Well,
we're
I
totally
I would
crazy,
love to
but
say that I couldn't be convinced otherwise. But sometimes the shadow is really sneaky. Yeah. It pretends like it's you, but it's an older version of something that you've rehearsed and you're used to.
mm-hmm,
Stepping into the full light of you can be uncomfortable because you're looking at that like, you know what? It's okay if you never like, I'll say this, but it makes me so sad because I used to love them, but it's okay if I never like avocados again. I try them. I used to love them. I would eat them with spoons, but one day I just got sick and I haven't been able to eat them since. Right? And I keep trying it like it's going to be different this time. It's going to be new. It's going to go back to that old love. And it's like, no, honey, that still makes you sick.
mm-hmm.
So kind of like that. I look fat today. Ugh, why can't I ever look good? It's like that is just an old programming. That isn't actually serving you to move you forward. That isn't actually allowing you to even receive compliments from others, right? It's not like you're fishing, you're just kind of stuck with that cycle. So continuing our moving forward, we have to let that shadow stuff go. And it's okay if it shows up again and you re-release it. Because the older we are, I feel like the more what is the word? The pattern is more ingrained.
Mm-hmm.
So the shadow is more, it's, you have to shine light on it from multiple directions to be able to clear it out of everything. Because you can feel all fine and dandy for a few months, but you wear that one wrong shirt with the pants that gives you that sausage or muffin top fold over, then all of a sudden you're back in your negative self-talk cycle in a hot second. and and it's like it's okay. We keep moving. And
And
the
that's
end.
when you come do hypnotherapy for, the gastric
Hey,
lap band. And
bum, bum. There you go. There you go. Goody plug. There you go.
That was
Bum.
smooth. That was very
So
smooth.
see, that's why I said that.
But not as smooth as your abs will be after you have the hypnotherapy.
There you go.
Unless you want those little mountains. Hey Kiki, welcome to the party, girl.
Yay. Okay, now I'm delayed on this and I ain't seen it yet. But yes.
you'll see it on your phone, but we don't see it on the side. So everybody
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
just so everybody knows that as what we can kind of see on our screens, we have to have our phones to be able to see instantaneous comments. So
Right. Thank
just
you.
know if we don't recognize you right away, it's not
Thank
that we're ignoring you.
right.
It's just we haven't seen it. And it's like April now is like just kind of looking down. So she's checking her phone. So when you see us do that, it's not like we're trying to avoid you or each other. We're, trying to keep up with what's going on our
thought that
phones.
I was doing a couple of announcements. Now I'm not gonna put that shadow sensitivity. I felt rejection every time y'all looked at it.
Ah.
You ain't paying attention to me. I feel the bad of me.
Okay, full attention.
Okay. No, I'm just playing.
Oh wait, she's at full attention? Well, at least one of us is. Okay. I'm gonna leave that to you. We're gonna there's three of us. That's like at least 150% at any given
Right.
time.
Right. That's true.
Even if one of us gets kicked out to the internet, at least
That's
70,
true.
we're gonna have over 100%, no matter what.
Right.
Hmm.
That is true. But yeah, but like you said, I think I
And
agree with.
old paradigm.
I agree with both of you all's thing aspect on that because I also think about what you're saying. Sometimes it's kind of good for you to kind of put yourself on hold to kind of get more perspective because if you keep on totally moving, you won't be able to really see what things that you have to work on. but at the same time, I understand about, I know Jupiter 11 is mentioned about that where you ascend and hold. So as you're ascending and going up higher, it's good for you to kind of like, okay, I got it. Now let me master where I am. Then I could be able to go on to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Those shadows are sneaky because sometimes you didn't even know you got the shadows. And you're like, what? Until somebody else points it out to you that you got a shadow. And then you've got to, at that point, be open and receptive to understanding when somebody points that out to you. Like I said on my thing, what makes you think because you're a twin flame or a light worker, you're exempt? If another light worker sees this in you and say, hey, you need to kind of fix this, or this one, your eyelash is falling off or whatever like that, you telling them that you need to be open and receptive and not do like my friend said it happened to her. She told a friend the makeup was something was off, her eyelashes falling off. She said, well, I ain't tell you why when your eyelashes falling off. Like, whoa, wait a second, I'm trying to help you out now. Where that come from? So you have to be open and receptive when people see something like that. They say, okay, you know what? I might not can see it now, but maybe later on I'll shift it and then I'll see what you're talking about. But to go ahead and to turn around and not to take ownership that this person is pretty much up and up a valuable person, that when they tell you they see something, to be open and receptive as far as what's going on. So especially when you talk about shadows, because you can't see that. Shadows is like something you seeing right up close, and you can't be able to see it unless somebody from a distance can see your flaws, or somebody else, because you'll probably even not even know that they even exist. And those shadows are sneaky little suckers when you're talking about that. So
And and I would like to add to that, to not be so hard on yourself, even if you've been working on them for years, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they come in different forms, right?
mhm,
You will find that it parallels itself, thank you, in different parts of your life, for different things. So let's say you're a
Mm-hmm.
procrastinator.
mhm,
Now, you may have stopped procrastinating at work, but maybe you're procrastinating on self care, or maybe you're procrastinating on doing that thing that you need to do, that you know you need to do. But I help so and so, and I just need to do this for X, Y, and Z, and my mom, and whatever, and Uncle George with the shoes, whatever. It's all excuses. And someone says, "Hey, you haven't been really caring for yourself," but you're like, "But I ate a salad. Bitch, get out of my face." Like,
right.
okay, calm down. Calm down. Maybe the salad wasn't enough. You still got that edge. Still got that that rage. But maybe you get to look at that. Also use discernment, right? Consider the source, because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
some people will nice mean you. Well, you
Right.
know what I mean? That toxic positivity or whatever. Like,
What is a
oh
backhanded compliment?
yeah,
Right.
there's so many ways to get to on your nerves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Your last nerve. 1,000 ways to trigger episode. I don't know what of the of the Twin Flame Chronicles.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Amen to that. Amen to that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
when
so
those
yeah.
things, yeah, when those things happen, that's when we have to go back and remember that life happens for us, not to us.
That's, yes,
And
yes.
we've got to find the positive in that. When you have meltdown, or like we talked last on Wednesday, if you have meltdown, you flip out, it's how you recover. That's the true merit of where you've grown. How do you recover from that? Do you do what you've always done, or do you stop and take a breath? Do you maybe apologize, but don't apologize that, oh, well, my sister-in-law set me off, or no. Do you say, I'm sorry, I got triggered and I probably didn't handle that the best, but I had was up to here and I just lost it. We don't blame other people, because then now we're not taking responsibility for our actions.
Right.
And that's where, I mean, it's one thing to vent to your girlfriend, you know, oh, if so and so at work wouldn't have done that, then but they got me all upset. It's one thing, but then it's another thing to, every time you tell that story, then poor me, I'm the victim, because you're not the victim, you're the volunteer at that point.
Mm,
You get that off your chest, and then you say, but That might have triggered me, but you know what? That really wasn't the best way to handle it. No matter who it was or what happened, I should have. And you have to take the responsibility. And I'll tell you, after being in a position of dealing with other people underneath me, both in the corporate world and even in a classroom,
Yes, Lord.
I will take a kid that comes to me and says, I didn't do my homework. What happened? You know what? I forgot. You know what? I had these other things going on. I know it was my responsibility, but I forgot. That kid will get extra time over the kid that says, well, my mom said I had to do this. And then my coach said I had to do this.
Yeah.
You blame everybody else. That I'm sorry. Guess you're not getting points for that. But the kid that comes in and owns up to it and says, yeah, it was my fault. I knew I should have done it. Or I knew it was due today and I just didn't. Okay. Do you need some more time? Is that because you know what? They've learned so much more from that one statement than they could from all the grades they got all year.
Right.
And watch from slipping from one vice to another, from one from saying emotionally hurtful things outwardly to saying them inwardly to eating bags of Oreos to suppress your emotions. The myriad of things you can do to not actually look at the shadow are amazing.
Oh yeah. And that's where you ask yourself why. By the fourth Oreo, why am I eating this? Is it that good? If I've been craving Oreos that bad, or what am I avoiding? Why am I doing this? That's simple.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. You have to do that. That remind me. I was watching one of the court shows with mom, and the young lady was on there, and the man was she was suing the man who did was a hypnotist to help her to stop.
Oh dear.
And she was suing because it wasn't working. And she said, matter of fact, with it, she's like, I was smoking more. And so the judge, her name's Judge Maybelline, and she was like, why are you what happened? And so then she's like, well, I was trying to do it. And so the other man was talking about who did the actual hypnosis was telling Judge Maybelline, he's like, well, I'll try to do it on you. And so she was like, no, I don't believe in that stuff. So it ain't gonna work on me because I don't believe in it. And so then she's like, oh, he's like, oh. So then he was like, well, long story short, it came down to the young lady wasn't doing everything he told her to. She was supposed to do meditation. She didn't want to do that. Mom and I said through the video, through the screen, we could tell how nervous she was, but she wasn't really taking in everything. And she said, I just got worse and I just stopped doing the stuff. So Judge Maybelline was like, your court, okay, I now rule in favor for the defendant because you didn't do everything you were supposed to. You were supposed to do your meditation. You were supposed to also, with the hypnosis, you didn't really take it seriously. And so that is it. So again, I say all that is again, for understanding that, when you do things, like you say, eating the Oreo cookies, you got to really understand that you got to be committed to doing these things. And you got to know your reasoning behind that. See, now with the young lady, if she really took it seriously, no, she wasn't, because she was nervous. I ain't gonna sit up there and lie, because your mom and I said, oh my God, her energy is just off the chart. But again, when you do decide and you see you eating those Oreo cookies and stuff like that, you got to make a decision within yourself that you have to be committed to making that change. And some of us, even with the shadow work, we identified, somebody else identified, and I can see somebody still getting stuck in that thing and saying, okay, I did a little bit, it ain't working, so now I'm going to stick in my shadow.
It takes a while to rebuild and reprogram. And every time you do it, let's say you actually did it dedicated, right? You had also self-forgiveness involved, right? Because whenever you start to go through the process of reprogramming, you start to judge yourself based on the things you did out of shadow. And there comes a process where if you really want to move forward, you have to say, okay, that's okay, that was, but that is no longer. I'm no longer making those decisions that way. I did
Mm-hmm.
do that, but I'm doing this from now on. And the trusting the process, trusting that, hey, you may slip up, but you're learning how to walk strong in who you are. And then there comes a point where you reassess again and you say, okay, well, this is still aspects of things that I'm holding back or I'm holding on to that no longer serve me. And you revamp the whole system again. And then there comes a point where we're forever in a state of creating anew. The
Mm-hmm.
key is to do it with more intention. The key is to do it with more focus. And yes, taking our responsibility for that. Taking our and knowing what's ours and what is somebody else's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we like to focus here on the self and self union, and also being open enough within that space to receive our beloved and our other, right? Because until you really are able to look at all the pieces of you and accept you, how do you really look at and see and accept the pieces of another? And this is in any relationship, not just the relationship with your beloved. Ah, I love it. I love it. I've gotten to the point. Yes, that's right. Please ask questions, everybody. Or, we're open to any cool positive comments or even negative comments like, why is it every time my beloved calls, I get terrible gas? It's like,
Hey, you been watching me? Have I
I've been watching, but I have been smelling something. When Freaky Friday goes,
Friday for your
potty
ride?
humor.
Yeah. Where was that comment? What was that?
Which one?
The one that
Hmm?
April just said.
Oh,
I those shadows can come up watching TV shows.
Oh yeah.
That's me. Oh yeah. Most easily you could get triggered. Some of they say it's like, oh my God, that looked like like I said, they took a line from my own script. And I always say art imitates life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
so
and
it
then
can,
two, we say the things that bother us a lot of times in another person are the things we have to work on in ourselves.
that's true.
And so if it's somebody that's critical or overreacts to things, it might not be that you're outwardly critical or overreacts to things, but it could be you do to yourself.
Hmm.
And it's things you don't like about yourself because you'd be like, well, I'm not a narcissistic abusive person. Yeah, well, where have you abused yourself? Not in the, but like by self-care and not standing up for yourself and not setting your boundaries. So those, still you have to step back and look, and then sometimes there are just people that their energy rub you
thank
wrong,
you.
that
I
there's
was waiting for
just,
that part.
yeah,
Oh
then
no.
there,
Hold up. Hold your
yeah,
tongue.
no. Yeah, then there are just people that, after you've done that self-evaluation before you make that decision that you don't like that person, then there is usually, you just check it out and like your energy doesn't mesh or their
Right.
energy vampire. There's something that's just not right about, whatever the situation is. Now, I won't say not right about them, but not right about the situation. Something just doesn't feel right.
All right, April, take it away. You're chomping at the bit. I can tell.
I used to be one. The computer froze.
Woo!
I used to be one of those people that was overly sensitive like that, in the sense that I would take everything that everyone did that vibed me incorrectly and put it on myself as if it were mine. And I had to learn the opposite, which is, oh no, that's somebody else's and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, you're attracting that energy to you to show you something. What is it
Mm-hmm.
that you to do? And sometimes that's boundaries. For me, there's a lot of boundary work and internally boundaries as well. And then spiritual boundaries and so on and so forth. The ever unfolding levels of boundaries, as well as what you tolerate. Because I had a very parts of my childhood were great. Parts of my childhood were extremely abusive, but they've helped for me to learn that I have a really high tolerance for bullshit that I don't need to have high tolerance for. So the last few years have been a lot of sloughing that off and calling a spade before you even have to like throw down. You know what I mean? So, you know, what did we talk about this in the last one? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice or multiple
Shame on
times.
me.
Then
Mhm.
yes, we're not learning lessons. We're not moving forward.
Yeah,
So if you're
we're volunteering.
yeah,
Right.
and if you're gonna give excuses and for your weaknesses, then you can keep them. If you're gonna give excuses for the reasons you haven't accomplished what you want to accomplish, you can stay right where you are. But if you're willing to take that again, that personal responsibility and keep going.
Hmm.
Oh, we got a question! Yay! A
Well,
question.
and watch it will show up 30 minutes later.
Well,
Three.
real quick while because I don't see the question yet. Oh, here we do. Yep.
Came up, go on, hit it, and then
It
I'll
finally
hit
came.
it.
Well, I just wanted to say to Ski Mask here. She said, or they say, I have a lot of learning to do. I'm 19. You are not alone. I'm 47 and I have a lot of learning to do.
Ain't
This
that
is a learning planet.
right?
Don't put your age and your learning together. You should just come to the conclusion that there's going to be a lot of learning. Not that you have it, it's gonna be a lot of learning. And the more that you're accepting to that and you're gonna learn something new, it flows so much easier.
Right,
So
that
just
is,
always know that.
yeah, very good point.
So so I have a slightly different version of what Kathy D says. It's like there's the things you know, and there's the
Mhm.
things you know you don't know, and there's the things you don't know. And so you're uncovering all these layers. The things you don't know, these are bounce off as reflections from other people. Um, and you want to use discernment on who's telling you what, right? If it's someone who's constantly belittling your dreams, then guess what? They're not coming at you with your best interest. And the things that they're saying, if they're critiques of yourself, are or most likely skewed. But take someone that you trust and say, "Hey, I'm working on this," or "What do you see? Where could I work on that?" And you're more likely to get a better response in terms of the things you don't know. On the things you know, be proud. You know them. But then also, we're still learning, right? The things you don't know, and be open and get them from multiple sources. Same thing with like diagnosis. I had this issue, this pain in my body, and I went to several different doctors to tell me what it was because all of them said it was nothing. We're going to talk about ascension symptoms. That's a whole nother episode. But but I had to go to different places to kind of one know that yes, I'm in control of what I'm learning and understanding, and two, you don't have to take a certain diagnosis or a thing. There's so many people that come back from the brink of so-called death, and because doctors tell them you have 6 months to live or 6 weeks to live, and they're still here 5, 10, 15 years later. So it really has nothing to do with external as much as it is internal fortitude and the love of self. And oh, what was it? The more you know, the more you realize you have no idea.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Amen.
Hi.
Just
Do you
what you
see
got.
it? So once you recognize it's from Meet E at 2:18.
Okay. Okay. So once you recognize your triggers and issues, how exactly do you heal it and kick it to the curb? Whoa. Okie dokie.
That was a really great question, but also a very broad question that there are
Yes.
several answers to. There are
Go
several
ahead.
ways to get to the number nine, and whatever resonates with you as to how it works with your triggers, because we're going to go through a lot of different answers now, guaranteed.
Right. Yeah. It,
Who
it,
wants to start?
it depends on what it is,
I think Kathy D should start because I feel like she said no. Okay, I want to throw
No,
this.
I'm gonna let you guys go first and then I'll.
I'm gonna pass the baton. We've got to be at least 150%.
Yeah. So once you right now, okay, let's
Okay,
see.
so trigger issue. Okay. Hey, I'm in a happy place. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm totally having a great day. And then what? Oh, I'm
Wait,
angry. What happened? I'm angry. Or I'm sad. Sad. Or,
okay,
there's interfering messages. Oh,
what
wow.
happened?
I'm trying to read her thing. She says, I'm getting interfering messages in my type.
Or she's responding back. I feel like a person. I can't see
No,
it.
I think she's having
What's
a
up?
lot of spiritual interference. There's a lot of actual spiritual interference right now. It's very
Yeah,
funny.
she's having trouble typing. Things keep popping up in her news, like in her
Oh,
line.
okay, this is me.
No, it's Gemma
Okay,
Howard. But let's focus on the meaty thing. Okay, we'll
yeah,
focus on
okay,
the
yeah.
question. How do you recognize a trigger? You're off from center. You can either become agitated or angry or sad, or it's something that hits a core it makes you uncomfortable typically, and it's usually mental or emotional. It can also threaten
A
core
little bit of.
beliefs. Huh?
It can be a
What?
little bit of mental and emotional.
Yes,
Be a combo.
yes. Sometimes it can even be a little physical, but the physical triggering is more like a pain or something, like you stub your toe, and it
Hmm.
shocks you out of where you were, or where you were feeling that good emotional vibe type thing. So that's
Yeah,
how to recognize that you've been triggered. Or you want to fight somebody, like they start talking and they say something and you automatically want to react versus respond. That's Is that a good way to describe how you're being triggered?
yeah, that's how you being triggered. That's funny thing that you mentioned about the physical thing because I remember when my dad was going through the point of him trying to handle him in this towards the end of him passing. And all of a sudden, every day I would deal with him, or if somebody would call me about business, I would get this sharp pain on the right side of me, and it'd be up above my hip, like right back here. Every time. That's an interesting way how physically it can be triggered by something. Somebody would call, I had to answer. It was a doctor, or somebody wanted me to handle some estate stuff. It goes straight right there. Yep, and I had to find myself talking to it, like, okay, it's okay. You can handle this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. I would have to keep on telling me because it was almost at the point like I was losing my foundation. It's like I didn't have a leg to stand on. And that's what it kind of represented because I couldn't walk forward with it. I always catch. And I remember a couple of times when I was there, I was like, listen here, I can't go through this right now. I said, because I got to be here for dad. I got to walk through this hospital because those lists of walking the hallways was in the hospital was long. He'd be way on the other side. And I said, I can't be sitting up here talking about, can you give me a wheelchair while I'm trying to go see my dad? And so I was like, they're like, who's the patient, him or you? And so a lot of times I didn't even tell my mom. A lot of times I had to kind of, like override it with my mind. I was like, I don't have time for it. So I'm gonna keep on walking. You're gonna have to figure out something, but that catch or whatever's happening in my back has got to leave. So for me, I do a lot of talking because again, I have a zealous mind, which is a wonderful, beautiful mind, but it can be zealous at times. Everything has a shadow to it. And so I would talk to it. A lot of times here now, when I get triggered, I tell you I use parenting. That's another thing that I use there. I use the father that say, okay, that's enough now, leave her alone. Or I have the mother that kind of talk me to it. Now, why do you feel that way? What did she say to you? What happened? Okay, let's talk it through. So now, you're not that bad, are you? So I play that real maternal, like motherly thing that's in my head that can kind of like parent on both ends. So I get that father and mother together. And so that's one way how I deal with the trigger is a lot of talking, internalizing, and reparenting of myself to say it's okay to be self-assured. So that's one way of how I do it. And like I said, another thing I just say, get over it because I ain't got time. That's another thing I do with it too.
That's a good point,
Mm-hmm.
because it does depend on how much time you have to go down the rabbit hole of self discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's points when you actually could make notes and do your best to say, okay, I'm going to stop here, but I know that this keeps going, right? You get to a point where you've looked at it from every single angle that you're like, finally, you can remove it, right? It'll pop itself up sometimes later in a different form, but you get to the point where you're like, okay, I've got rid of that stuff that's associated with my mother. I got rid of that stuff that's associated with my father. Like they passed it down to me as an ideal or a belief system, or told me I had to defend myself, or a past relationship did XYZ, so I feel like I automatically have to do ABC. We get to this point of letting it we're no longer letting it ride, and we choose a different space to step into, different space to respond with. So I liked the forceful ones. Like I liked reparenting. I also like, for every time I said a negative comment, I had to turn around and say 5 positive ones. And sometimes it was really
Mm-hmm.
hard to say 5 positive ones. 3 positive is easy. 5 positive, okay, now you just especially when they're coming back to back. They get exponential, right? So now I just have to say nice things, and then it starts to get into the habit. Like if you have a automatic curse word reaction, I used to say, I got really agitated when people said "damn it," right? Because I was like, "Isn't things already hard enough? Why are we damning stuff? How about we bless things, right?" So I started saying, "God bless it." One of my main things I used to love to do, because I lived in LA, and the traffic there was off the charts, right? LA, from DC to LA. So the traffic is just gnarly, right? So I learned this method of just blessing everyone around me. Just saying yes. And then when I see someone in a hurry, it's like just bless them wherever they need to go. I can see that they're in a hurry, and that sense of urgency. I hope that they actually get to slow down and enjoy parts of their life, because that little bit of anger and hurriedness could take your life in a split second. And I started
Mm-hmm.
to value things at this sweeter, more fundamental level, that everything that was seemingly trivial, I let go. So like, oh, guess what? I shaved my leg, but there's a stripe. There's a hairy stripe. Instead of being agitated about that all day, I'm just gonna have fun with it and see if anybody actually notices. Just little things like that. I would even get excited. Like now, it's like, oh yay! It's a little bit sarcastic, and it's morphing itself into being real. But whenever I get triggered, I'm like, yes, something to work on, something to clear out. We got this. Until it
Mm-hmm.
gets to that heavier one where I'm just like, yeah, something to clear out. Like it's like one of those. For lack of a better word, those poops that are hard to take because something's kind of scraping you on the inside. This is so gnarly. Usually I go sexual. Today, Freaky Friday's gone. Toilet American humor. I don't know. Anyway,
Freaking me out. No.
but like the reason I use the analogy is it's coming out anyway. So sometimes it like hurts coming out. Sometimes it's just that easy breezy. Let it go.
And
Okay.
let me say, you need more fiber in your diet. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, not those aren't my poops now. My poops now are just kidding. I'm not gonna go
I found rainbows and sunshine and sprinkles.
there. Definitely unicorn.
Yeah.
Frozen yogurt.
There you go. Oh my God. Yes, God.
And all right. So my response to that is yeah, there's no response to that. But um
Okay.
so the question that me asked is um there's, of course, you guys always know I'm always going to throw in the journaling, but journal to the trigger.
Okay.
Is it you're angry? Write a letter to your anger. Where does it come from? Why are you doing this? Why do you keep showing up? Where did we see this that we think that this is okay? The main thing is sit with it. We so many times we feel that trigger and we do that whole butt pucker thing and we're like, I'm not going to let this affect me. I can handle this trigger. It's not it's not mine. It's not mine. You know what? Just sit with it. And when you come to terms with it, just like you did with your inner child and things like that, the next time it comes up, it'll be like, yeah, you're back again. Thanks. It's not that crucial. It's not that gut punch, as Benita likes to say. It's not that gut punch when it happens. So you have to sit with it. You have to acknowledge it and you have to see where it comes from. And write to it. Talk to it. And that's the same thing. Like Divine Sunshine said, that it's just like talking to it. But if you're a auditory person, sometimes you can't get into a space where you can say, okay, anger, there's enough of this without everybody looking at you like you're crazy. And please don't ever do it in a public washroom. Okay, let's just put that out there right now. Don't be talking to any of your emotions in public. All right. There might be some men waiting for you with a little love me suit. But you know, if you have especially if you can go out into nature and just sit out there, especially sit on the grass, sit on a tree stump, sit in a chair. If you have a garden or anywhere, you can just take a lawn chair and go sit, and you can talk to the universe and talk to nature and get it out. That's fantastic. If you don't have that, then write it out. But don't stop writing till you run out of things to say.
Okay.
Don't control it. It's pen to paper. You put the title in the top so you can put my anger, and then you just start writing, and it's almost like a brain dump, but it's just pen to paper. You don't stop. You don't care about spelling, punctuation, capitalization. You're not sending it in for, submission into Reader's Digest, so don't worry about it. And just write it out. And then if you really, once you're done writing it, and then you read over it and you get that, whew, all right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then take it, either two different things. You can burn it, or you can, and this is a newer one to me, is they call it float it. And you put it in a moving body of water. Now, if you're living upstream from, your mother-in-law's house or whatever, you don't want to float the letter down there about, her cooking or whatever. So I would suggest burning it and then, sending it into a moving body of water. Not a lake, not a pond, but I mean a big lake. If there's movement in it, like it hooks, like we have down here, we have chain of lakes, but in a moving body of water. Or soak it in water and let it dissolve, and then dump what becomes that paper pulp back into that moving body of water, and letting.
Well, would a toilet flushing, would that also equate as moving water? That's what I want, because I
Yes.
did get
Yes.
in
Yes.
Chicago. Okay, that's what I want to know.
You can do it
Okay.
to a sink. If you burn it
Oh,
and put it down the sink, that's always good.
You can also bury it if you get a chance, burn it and bury it. The thing is, some people suggest going to a nice open green spot and burying it.
okay.
I don't agree with that, because I don't want to see people in parks digging holes at night. That kind of makes you look a little off there. So we don't want to be burying things in public. But a flower pot, even if there's nothing growing in it, put the ashes in there with the dirt and just turn it over. I mean, you're making wonderful compost. Add some other, kitchen scraps and stuff to it, and then put a plant in it.
Oh, that's a nice taking a negative into a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And plant something. If you're going to plant something either useful or beautiful in it. So either a vegetable or an herb or a flower.
Okay. Okay.
So the process that she's describing, it's more than just the physical 3D writing it out.
Mm-hmm.
You are taking energy and you are shifting it through your hand into a piece of earth paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to read it aloud, you are then going to release a different type of energy. When you burn it, it releases and completely transmutes it or changes it into another material form relatively quickly. If you're burying it, the earth itself uses her power that you are also co-created with, right? Because we are just pieces of the earth hanging off that we move around atomically, or what is the word? Anyway, separately from the earth, seeming as if we were different, but we are actually just material of the earth in the form of consciousness. And these are all alchemical ways for changing energy. The same way as when you think something and you automatically the stopping of the reaction and letting it leave your mouth changes its power, and you start to attract that which you're speaking of versus what you don't want. I mean, you understand what I'm saying. If you if you repeat all the time, this always happens to me. I'm da 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 da. That's what you see. That's what comes. So let's do this together. Let's make a conscious choice to step into our power, and that beginning with the word, that beginning with the mind or the thought. And if the thought is perverse or perverted or not flowing, we get to learn on changing those behaviors. But changing that also means releasing it once and for all. So I love the process of burying it. I love the processes of burning it. Burning is my personal favorite, but that's just because of who I am, right? You got to feel this out for you. We're going to give you tons of advice, but ultimately you have to speak to you. You have to know what you want to feel or be on the other side. And you don't have to maintain it. It doesn't even have to be a logical thing unless that's how you work. Like it has to be logical in order for it to function. You could be a dreamer like me and miracles come out of nowhere and you're just like, oh snap, look what the universe showed up for me for. You know what I mean? It's all about whatever you're open to receive. So I believe in you.
It's the Capricorn.
I
Well,
put
I'll tell you, there's also a really fun way to do it, and especially if you're an auditory person, and when you're ready to release things, and really ready to kick them to the curb, get some, and especially this time of year is the best time to get it because everything's on sale from the summer sales and the kids' toys and stuff. But get bubbles, and as you blow the bubble, put that energy in it. Love, um,
I like that.
anger. And you know what? It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's childlike. It's fun. We put a protective bubble around us. So why not just blow those out into the universe and maybe because
Okay.
some people say, the burning of it and the what they drowning of it and all of that and the burying, some of that can be destructive. Have fun. And that's a wonderful, wonderful way, whether you know who your DM is or not, or DF, your divine feminine, divine masculine, or if you just have family or friends that maybe you're having a hard time, get those bubbles and blow love, blow healing. Visualize them, see them. It's just like when we made the energy ball that one week and we did that and then we threw it out there to them. You can do the same thing with that bubble. And that's always fun. And if you can't find kids' bubbles, dishwashing soap. Come on, people. Dishwashing soap, put your hands in it just like that, pull it up and blow big bubbles. But that's another really fun way to make a lot of times release some really heavy stuff. Especially if you've got some really heavy stuff that you need to get rid of and you know that it's time, you know what you need to release, you know how you need to release it. Do it with something fun. It's just so the light and the dark, give it that positive spin to it. Let it be like, transmuted into that fun, beautiful vision, especially if it's something really hard.
I like that. Appreciate. And you get that goes back to that inner child piece because the inner child will like that too. Not to
Mm-hmm.
forget about how they are able to. You talk about your spiritual guides, your angels. Okay, I hear confirmation. Spiritual guides and your angels and stuff. But don't forget to check in again and your past loved ones. Don't forget also to check in with your inner child. They'll like that too. Another way of you being able to release as well. Are you? I hear you clanking over there. You ready to do a meditation, or you just clanking just to clank?
Oh, I am into doing a meditation. I
All right,
did get
do
a picture of what to do, but my son wanted to
Okay.
use the tools,
Okay. Because I
and
didn't
I
know
was like,
full card.
"You
So
can
that's why.
either way, it's all good."
Okay. Okay.
do we
I did.
have any more questions?
She
And
asked
Or
about manifestation, but she didn't specify. I just gave her a quick definition, or him.
yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
It's a very intensely long name.
I know it. Let's
triple
see.
X today, Sean, and Ski Mask, the slump god.
Is writing a part of manifestation? It can be, but it can
Hmm.
also be a release.
Now there are different things. You can do the 369, which is a form of manifestation that is writing. So if you are a very eloquent writer, you feel very powerful when you write and you really feel that power in your pen, do the 369. Now you can look it up online. There's many different ways to do it. My daughter, who has the best use of it, you write the first three things, so whatever it is, whatever you're trying to manifest, you write that 3 times, then 6 times on the situation, and then 9 times the outcome. So, like right now, one of the ones we're working on is we put in the address of our house 3 times because we're
Oh,
trying to sell it. And then we say that it will sell quickly within 3 weeks. Boom, boom, boom. And then in the outcome, so we write that 6 times, and then the 9 times is that there'll be a wonderful family that's going to come and bring good energy into this home and have wonderful memories here and push out anything that's dark and give this home a new life. And
That's
so we do that
beautiful.
9 times. And so that you can manifest that way too. A lot of people do lots of writing. It kind of goes along with a vision board. The thing is, after you're done with it, you either fold it up and put it away, you do the burning, you drowned it, you do whatever you do with it. And then the neat thing would be to do is get water and dish soap after you have dissolved your paper in the water and make your bubbles out of that with the dissolved paper in it. And just then
oh,
you could just blow your bubbles.
That wouldn't break the surface tension of a bubble and
Not if you
prevent the
let it
bubble
soak
from
long enough. If you used, I mean, you couldn't just stick a piece of typing paper in there and let it go within a couple hours. It would have to sit there for a couple days
for the disintegrating this.
for it to just totally disintegrate and break down.
Well, the same idea of the messages in water or the 2 cup method or the 2 cup method. Okay, so are you Yanira asked the question. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. She
Yeah.
says, what can you do when you get really busy to manifest when the 3D gets in the way? Okay, so first I want to say the 3D is never in the way. The
That's what.
3D is a reflection
Mm-hmm.
of the experience. The second part is there's super easy ways. Like I just mentioned, the 2 cup method. You have 2 cups, one full of water, one empty. You speak into 1 cup, or you can even do the post-it note thing where you write like, "This is the situation," and then you write the situation you want on the post-it. You pour the water over, or you even just think about it. You can do the energetic intentions. You think about it, and you pour into a new paradigm, and then you drink that water and allow it to become your reality into the now. It's all about your focus and concentration at any given moment. The thing that has weakened us, I think, is the overcomplication of our lives and multitasking. So a lot
True.
of us don't want to sit in meditation. We don't want to just be in the now, right? We want to fight and run away from our bodies. I'll just flit and did I do that in a bird flu? That was kind of crazy. Flit in the 5D, and then we'll just kind of ignore our bodies or ignore our health, and these things don't work. All right. So coming into the now, coming into focus, this is when you have the most power. So that's when your words and energy has the most power. We tend to give most of our power to emotional triggers, however, when we react. Like, oh, this always doesn't go my way, or this, you know what I mean? Like that's we're using a lot of passion and fire and focus and energy. So that is mostly about manifestation, but there's a loose detachment. When you manifest, there tends to be a looser, like a parking spot, for example. It's going to be It's Costco Saturday samples. It's sample Saturday.
That's lunch.
Hey, oh yes.
And you
Woo.
know it's about to be busy. But
It's
you know
lunchtime.
that there's
Yep.
there's an odd, pretty good that there's going to be a parking spot up close for you, right? And then I just let that go, and I go through and I look, and whether there's one or not, I know I'm good because I'm there and it's sample Saturday, right? And more often than not, there's a parking spot right up there, ready, waiting for me.
Mhm.
Oh, he's so funny. His timing. I love my son so much.
Yeah.
You know, you are my sunshine. There's also another time that you can do this. And if you're a visual person, if you learned as a kid to imagine and play Let's Pretend, every time you go to the bathroom, sit down and visualize what you want. Get that in there, or get a friend to play the game with you. Remember when, remember when, we were in that, I had this horrible job. Remember when I, I don't know, I was in a horrible relationship, and look
Hey,
at me now. I have, and then you put that positive spin to it. But anytime you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you're washing dishes, any of those automatic pilot things you do, even if it's checking your email, visualize. That's when you use those things. That's when, so when it seems like things are really busy, no matter how busy it gets, you still have to go potty. Okay. Even as a teacher, I have 3 minutes between classes and I have to go potty. There are people I have to stop that want to talk to me, and I go, wait a minute, I got to go potty. So, make sure that even if it's just that little bit of manifesting, I don't think that's a word, manifestation that you do,
It's a
it
word
will
I feel like
manifestating.
the perfect word because sometimes manifestation does take a gestation period for
And then
clarity.
you're manifesting.
When you
There you go. I
just
love it.
manifest, sometimes you get stuff and you're like, oh, I didn't want that. I should have just stated it.
Man, it just stated it. There we go. It's kind of like a gestation period, just letting it like boil and cook it, It's like
Right.
cooking in the crock pot. But yeah, so anytime that you're, driving, even if the kids are with you, you can visualize something without having to take your eyes off the road or not pay attention to what you're doing when you're cooking. There are certain things as adults we can do kind of on autopilot that maybe sometimes we shouldn't, but we can.
Right.
I love the fact David from Soul Mission, talks about, Jesus take the wheel, because he gets a lot of his downloads when he's driving.
Yeah.
So, just
Me
use
too.
those. Yeah. Divine Sunshine. She scared the life out of, I don't know how many truckers in Chicago. I send my apologies to every trucker that has been through the Chicago area during
Yeah.
school last year. This crazy lady coming up next to him, hanging her phone out of the window because she wants to show, what it says on the side of their truck. But yeah, so there's
You need
always
to close
little
the door.
times. It doesn't need to be this big, if you have the ability and your life allows for you to be able to sit and meditate 20, 30 minutes, that is fantastic. And I love that. But there are also times in life where you have 20 or 30 seconds. And that's where
Right.
those quick little visualization just keeps you going, keeps you knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
A good, easy way to switch your vibe on the regular is to train yourself when you wake up to say three grateful things that you're grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Just gratitude immediately upon rising. I woke up today. Sweet sauce. I get to do whatever I need or get or want to do today, right? Like I'm thankful for my beautiful child. I'm thankful for a place that's safe, and I'm grateful for endless amounts of delicious foods. And you would know how much I love food if you could just see this Freaky Friday booty. Back
Well,
to
and
that booty.
also, just stating that today's going to be a great day.
That's what I was
You
about to say.
you
Attention.
put that out, that's quantum physics right there.
Right.
You throw that
Well,
out, this is going to be a great day.
that
And
now
then you
that is as stepping over to alchemy. So I totally 150% agree with you, but you're creating at that point.
Hmm.
So
But
acknowledging
after
that you
you do
have.
the right, after you do the gratitude, that's when you then step into, because I do that. I do the three things I'm grateful for every morning. And then before my feet hit the floor, I thank, I thank God for the ability to have my feet hit the floor. And then I tell myself today's going to be a great day. And being able to alchemize that is an amazing thing.
She's so funny with her lyrics right there.
That's
Today
my
was a good day.
song.
Mama cooked a breakfast with no hug, baby.
Yeah, baby, you play that, not just the dance, and that's her song right there. Ain't nothing to
Oh.
see her dancing to some Ice
Great
Cube.
cheer in reality.
Unbelievable.
Silent bands.
All right, yes.
So for our meditation today, because it's an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. For our meditation.
Now, what's going
please
on
ignore the please ignore the wizard behind the curtain.
down here? Okay.
Huh, we're about to see the
For our
closet.
meditation, right? Or my clothes just burst into flames. I don't know, like a magic show. Uh, welcome to Freaky Friday.
Now
Oh
that's
no, you
alchemy
didn't just
right
bring
there.
this
That's
meaty.
real alchemy. Look at how she transmute that curtain into a flame. That's real stuff right here.
I
Okay,
am
okay.
fully entertained. I am fully entertained.
We got it
I
all.
am also warm. I could use a little ice cube. Just saying. Oh, baby, did you turn? He turned. He somehow turned me on the live on the iPad.
Oh,
So our meditation today is me hearing myself in the
right.
background. This is going to be fun.
Oh, no.
Just a second. Let me turn down Blippy. Not that I'm advertising for Blippy, but my son loves Blippy, so let's just let him do that. Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, as
Bring it
this
on.
person keeps bringing in their ancestry and DNA, yes, you can heal and work and process that too. There's a lot of stuff that we get from our direct parents. There's a lot of stuff that passes down through our lines culturally, and so on and so forth. So your triggers can also be associated with that.
True.
So
Very so.
learning what lenses or filters you have on. It's almost like we have on glasses that have multiple lenses in front. Kind of like, what do they call that? Punk, some kind of punk, steampunk, where they have like all the mechanical stuff and like
Oh,
there's several lenses, in front of a pair of regular glasses or glasses
Or
right.
an
that may not even.
optometrist. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that'll work too because they have the multiple
Because
lenses.
they are like, can you see this? Is A better or B better? What about C? I don't know. You're the doctor. I'm paying you to tell me what's wrong with my eyes. You tell me which is better.
But that being said, we have all of these lenses and we get to filter through that. We get to throw out what doesn't work and keep what does and appreciate ourselves, but also get ourselves into who we really authentically are and step into who we want to be, right? Okay,
Mm.
so that's what we're going to do today for our exercise. So everybody, eggs of eggs or bubbles of protection. I just love that so much. Blowing the bubbles. Thanks for that, Kathy D. That's going
I,
to be a fun one because that's
I,
all we do. Baby loves the bubbles, yeah. Okay, so everybody take a deep breath. I want you to feel into your body. Feel where I want you to kind of start to sway. If a spiral naturally starts to happen from your lower spine to your upper spine, that's great. Just allow your body to move. Take deep breaths. If you're starting to lock up, um, I want you to center in and anchor into your body and appreciate all of it, even where it's stiff, even where it's too loose, even where you've been holding any particular emotions. Just go ahead and let that space be. Allow your protection bubble to surround you. And this bubble, it goes from silver to gold to rose gold to violet to white. And it's very thin yet very thick. Depending on what angle you look at it, you are always contained in this field. I want you to call your ancestors, your angels, God, Jesus, to come and guide and protect you in this space. Allow you to be safe and grow in the love of yourself and the love of your beloved. So we're going to call this energy to our beloved. We're going to imagine they are mirroring in front of us, or they can be next to us in our bubble, kind of like whatever feels safest for you. If you are not ready to have your twin in your bubble with you, some of you can have him mirrored, right, as if he is you and you are him. However, you feel most comfortable. So, as you and your twin are in this exercise, or your beloved are in this exercise, or your life partner are in this exercise, you are safe, you are protected, and you are guided. And you have guardians of your union, you have guardians of you and your path, and they have guardians of them and their path. So just allow all of this to kind of settle in. Allow the space to be filled with light and love that not only comes from the center of the earth up your feet to your ankles, your knees, your hips, your root. Go ahead, squeeze your lower pelvic floor muscles and your anus and everything. Just squeeze that and release. And as you squeeze it, it pulls up from the earth and relaxes and settles and starts to pool up in your root. And it pulls up in your other's root as well. Allow it to go up from their feet, their ankles, their knees, their hips, their root. And it starts to fill up and fill. And this red, and you can feel all of us that are connected through all space, time, and dimensional realities. We're all absorbing this beautiful energy from the earth and bringing in this positive love and light. Okay, so this energy now moves up to the sacral. I want you to squeeze your lower abdomen and release. Just kind of squeeze everything and release and let it kind of fill up. And then it fills up your solar plexus and you squeeze. Your partner squeezes and release. You both squeeze and release, pulling this energy up higher to the heart and the chest. And I want you to squeeze everything, your abs, your root, your pelvic floor. Squeeze your feet. Just pull it up. Let it fill up your heart and relax. Squeeze again and relax and allow that energy to pull up into your throat chakra. That's right. Feel everything come up to your throat and squeeze your chest, everything, your throat. And release and squeeze and release. And now it goes into your third eye. We're going to squeeze everything, including the face. Go ahead and curl, even curl your hands up, your arms. Just let everything get nice and tight and relax. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then breathe in, take a deep breath and allow it to come all the way up to your crown. And as it starts to fill your crown, it starts spilling over into your bubble. Your bubble starts to fill up with this rainbow colored light, matching your chakra system, matching your partner's chakra system, matching the space of contentment. And you feel all this energy rising in you and rising and clearing out blockages, rising and clearing out pain and deep-seated issues that have been passed down, rising. And you want to go ahead and allow the bubble itself is full, and then all of a sudden, from deep in the universe, light shoots down into your crown, into your third eye, into your throat, into your heart, into your solar, into your sacral, into your root, and allow it just to flush down your legs and down your arms and out through, and it starts to fill your bubble up again with the white light of the universe. You and your other are now in a space where you are being held in love and protection and connection. Now, for those of you that are coming closer into union and can accept the feelings of your other, I want you to go ahead and breathe into the connection. Breathe into the clarity and centeredness of the union of self and the union with the other. The other has also union of self. They're strong in their conviction and love for you. For those of you who are disconnected from that twin energy and are looking to come into more fuller union, to allow your twin's energy to come in, just focus on yourself. Just focus on coming into union and alignment with your emotions and your thoughts and the feelings of your body. What is it that you truly desire? What is it that you need? You are being fed and filled by both heaven and the earth. You are the universe in this one little being, this beautiful being of you. And I want you to kind of tighten everything up. Just squeeze, 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 squeeze out any impurities, anything that doesn't fit, any kind of pain. I want you to feel into it and just squeeze it. Squeeze and release. Allow the heavens to fill you, and the earth to help you feel grounded. Allow your body to just expand and your auric field to just expand with each breath. The bubble is there to keep you safe. Your ancestors, the angels, God, Jesus, everyone is around you to keep you safe and protected and guided at this time. Now let us talk about what we truly want to manifest. And if that's just knowing what our next step is, allow the universe to show you. Sometime this evening, sometime tomorrow, just be open to the beauty and the signs. Be that cleaning out that part of the shadow. Be that just self acceptance. Be that just expanding in joy and self love and expression. Whatever you and your inner child needs, whatever your partner or other needs, it will appear. It has appeared. It is now. You are safe and you are divinely connected. Now just lean back a little bit in trust of the universe. And amen. Okay, thank you. Let's do this. Shake your hands, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, come back to me. I like to tap the sternum with these little fingers here. I sometimes tap my feet on the ground to remember where I am. Sometimes I do a little face massage, a little comb my energy back in. Here we go, here we go. Okay. And you should feel a lot of clearing, a lot of space has opened up. For a minute there, I was like, I had to look down, open my eyes to make sure I was still here on Earth. I was like, I'm floating. My bubble. It's full of helium. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, thanks for that. That was fun. That was fun. I see a lot of. Um, ooh, this is nice. What do you need to say? Oh, Gemma, I don't want to. I'm going to acknowledge Gemma, and she's kind of going through her things right now. But it's okay if you can't see your other or feel him right now. You will in time. And just focusing on yourself and what you need
Mm-hmm.
because that's the time for you. So, congratulations. Yeah, you are loved.
I did too. Yeah, I'm with Vanita. Let me put that up there. Then I kept seeing energies merging while doing that, not just counterparts, but collectively. Not sure why I was getting that within that meditation. Because think that's the intention that we set there. It's not only for ourselves, but to me, it is showing me like a pebble, and it just reverberated from there, like butterflies coming
Mm-hmm.
it changing the atmosphere by doing that. So that was beautiful. I seen that too.
Beautiful.
What is she said? I remember tribelly dancing. I remember that I did and some moves during the meditation. Okay,
That's
all
a
right,
good one.
that's a
Mm-hmm.
good.
Keep it moving. Keep that energy flowing. That's going to be the best way. Oh, it is behind the curtain. And I
What
really
is
The
got to.
all powerful Oz.
there? We go. Who is behind there?
Who would
Who
have
is
thought Oz is only 1.5 years old?
who is there?
And he's about the right height for the cast. So
He sure is. The Mexican man, the Mexican man. Okay, give me 3 cards, 2 and 3 for the and that's what they pulling. And 3.
I
Oh,
was about
wow.
to say, the one good thing I like about my shadow is it makes me look really slim sometimes.
There you go. There you go. All right, real quick before going out, where I was asking about what to do at this point. So right now, as far as we talk about those shadows, we gotta be kind of they want us to be relieved. You seeking out that help. We told you about different now picture to
May I
me.
have some?
The help would be the things that we're using as far as tools to help us get ourselves back on track. So again, you have, and cat represents flexibility too in life. And so it says, in order to be reassured, soothed, and at ease, we have to put in practices of those things that help us. And that's interesting in our thinking because he's also that fireman means action too. You got to be grounded and rooted in that too. So you got to be grounded and rooted in your thinking, what type of action that you're taking for to able to help you as far as being flexible in life too as well. So although this is a little person here, but this again is like sometimes we become very vulnerable, like childlike to state as well, and it's okay for us to ask for help to get back into that state as well. As far as we're trying to ascend and get more knowledge, because this is a tree and this is a ladder as well. So these are some things that Spirit says that when we're talking about dealing with the shadows and these energies, this is another thing that they want us to deal with. Is there anything else you see, ladies? With that, let me move this way.
inner child,
Right,
allowing others to help us with our inner child as well.
right.
The safety, it says relieved, right?
Right.
You're muted.
She's talking to
Um,
herself.
yeah, thank you for understanding.
Right. No.
Because it was like you were talking, and I'm like, "Hello."
You should have said this up a while ago. I'm being asked questions.
Uh, uh, uh.
So the relieved is coming from the red, the root, the safety. All of it is wrapped up in that main space. So just knowing that yes, we can visibly see our shadow. The best way to
Wait.
anchor into the safety of it is letting just trusting the root, trusting the universe. We're not the ones having to do the work. I guess it just kind of depends on how you look at the card and if you're attracted to what part are you, right?
Right.
Are you the cat? Are you the fireman? Are you the fire truck? Are you are you the little boy? Like where are you in this process? But everyone is taken care of.
She said, Benita said, asking for help in general. Many of us are striving not to codependent and have stopped asking for help. Period. And it's a 360 turnaround. Well, that's true too, because some of us kind of, in some ways, think we got it at this point. I've been on this journey 13 years, and I think I know what I need to do, and I don't need no more. So yes, I'm relieved. No, some of that might have came to that understanding and think that they have gotten they've grown this far. Or some of them are saying, forget it, I don't want to do no more in this twin flame adventure. I'm off to do something else because I've kept on pushing and there's nothing else. So this leads right on into our next card, which is they said free, which is liberated, independent, and unburdened. So these are some energies again, in order for us to be able to send, to have that peace of mind, to get out of that cage or that self-imposed prison here, where you could be able to deal with that. So we need to deal with being free, as well as when we talk about these energies. So freeing yourself from whatever limitations that has came about, so we can be able to ascend as well. You see anything else, ladies?
It looks as if there's a curtain in the background
Yeah, there.
behind the clouds. So
Uh-huh.
almost as if the removing of the veil.
Oh, likes that. I likes that. I likes that. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
We got some more music
Survey
in the back.
says.
You're My Sunshine says, I believe I can fly. Oh, wait.
I believe I can touch the sky.
What's interesting is
Yeah.
that it looks like the bird to me let itself out of the cage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nobody
And
opened it up. They found a way
yeah.
to do
And
that.
that's the true way to freedom is you're gonna find your own way because it's not gonna be as sweet if someone else leads you to it as you do it on your own. Like Benita says, this is my card.
Okay,
So
right. Okay, now I'm gonna throw something else and I'm gonna be quiet. Why would spirit bring this out as far as what we're talking about the energies, which is envious, jealous, suspicious, and possessive? You can answer in the side there too. This is almost like a card reading academy. Why would spirit bring this out of all the cards?
It kind of just depends on who you think you are in this card. If you are even part of this card, right?
Okay.
So I suppose my interpretation would be um, letting go of anything that we think or perceive to be negative or hindering us or less than in terms of why we haven't stood in our power in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen an amazing shadow puppeteer, I guess,
Oh,
and they could make it look like real things with their hands,
mhm.
right.
but it was not the real. It's not really what's going on.
Okay, I like that. I like that. The illusions. So don't
Well,
get
and
into
Benita,
the illusions. Uh-huh.
yeah, Benita says there's that veil curtain again.
Uh-huh. So really revealing what's actually going on. Okay, I got that. So Kiki says envious of perceived situations. Okay. That's another way to say that. Okay, Kathy D, it's your turn.
Um, it's the 3D situation that we know is shadows because we know that 3D isn't the true perception of what's going on.
Right.
So when you're looking at it with your 3D eyes, you become very envious of something that maybe looks like it's a wonderfully harmonious situation. It could be your divine, or it could be another couple just that you're watching and wishing and wanting that you had that love and that relationship. But you don't know when you drop that curtain or that veil, if they don't start screaming and yelling at each other or whatever, or just go separate ways.
That's true. That's true. Right. And it's just the envy. Again, we talk about these boogers and how they're messing with our perception of seeing things as well, the illusions of it, even if they represent love there. So, it's different perceptions of love. And like you say, in various degrees of love. And as we're looking at others, to me, this is like comparing what you think is going on. So envious could be also what they said, jealous, suspicious, possessive about what other people have, and then that might get you to thinking, and then that makes you go down that rabbit hole of spiraling out as far as this. But when I look at that, if I didn't read the bottom of it, I would just say your perception and looking at the world behind, like you say, revealing the veil. Actually, what are you actually seeing for yourself, or are you looking at other people to determine what love is for you? And so that will cause you to maybe spiral out into that envy, like, oh, well, I don't have, but they have. And then you start finding yourself being kind of down about that. And then that goes into the shadows, because this is all shadow. This is shadow here, shadow them. And that goes back to April talking about the illusions of it. So kind of watch how you even comparing yourself to others, watch how you are seeing in the perception of the world, really being able to pull back and really see, okay, now what am I really actually seeing? Question yourself. Down, am I seeing it from my past experiences? Am I looking for my hurts? Am I looking for my childhood wounds? What ways am I actually, and this is a man here, so what way am I thinking that's causing me to look at what other things are happening to others to reflect back to me? And so that's one way of looking at it. Even something.
TG made a wonderful comment about it, and then Kiki did too.
Right, I seen that. Is this the one?
Yes.
Okay, I feel so much lighter as I've been able to release the strong hold on my twin, finally able to be in flow and not having attachment to outcome. Right, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so
all are feeling that. I don't think that's really just one person. I've heard that across the board because I like to look for truth. And I've seen a lot of people saying that it's like, I'm not really concerned right now. It's just like I'm just being, which is great.
and
then
part of
go on.
I was just saying, if you decide to go back and you rewatch the healing part of this episode today, it's a non-attached, just growing in love and light with the partner or the other, and it can also be the other self, right? Because we're both masculine and feminine. We're all divine, and we're all coming into that inner union space. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to give with no conditions. And a lot of the stuff that we've been doing or people have done in the past is give with the condition of some type of return. And the return is more or less feeling good within the self. Not if I do this, they should be doing that. We're not shooting all over the place, okay? We are just going to accept things as they are. The more you give, the more you truly do receive.
Right. True. Is that the comment they say even salt looks like sugar? What was the comment?
I like that one.
That was the one. I like that one with
I like
Kiki.
that one too. And that is true. That is true. So we have to watch that. They always, you don't have to be twin flames. That's across the board. Average Joe needs to watch that, kind of looking at and seeing what everybody else is doing. CP in Texas said, letting go of what was and looking forward of what is coming now.
Yes.
And that's the big thing. That you need to concentrate now on these times as well with what's currently going on with these energies too.
And in that picture, it's like that person is completely acknowledging their own shadow, right?
Right.
They're just becoming the shadow. So if you don't look at it, if you don't study your shadow, if you don't recognize when the shadow is the shadow self, you actually could put yourself in a state of just any of those fear, envy, jealousy. All of these things are just ignoring the shadow and letting them overtake you.
Right. She said people wear masks, so I take that in consideration. People fake their entire existence.
Yes, that is such a trip. I did not know that was. I'm so real. I didn't know people were fake.
Well, yeah, I can see that happening to you. Like, no, yeah, like really? I mean,
Oh, we're still doing that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I think even some of them in those kind of situations are getting tired of faking the funk too. I'm getting tired. The energies is pushing them to that point too. It's like, I can't keep on faking this. If you're worried about those feelings, then you are not in a receiving mode and your blessings may pass you by. Exactly. That is so true. Yeah, it does blow your mind, Jada, that they're still doing that. About the
CPN in Texas, how did you handle that? She said, today I saw my ex with the woman he left me for.
Oh,
how was that?
That's Oh Lord, have mercy. How was that?
That had to be an interesting trigger.
She said, oh, okay, doing things.
That's a bummer trigger right there. That's real life shadow work right there.
Yeah. Doing things that he never did with us. I did look back.
Yeah, because
And of
that's that. I mean, that's not really. To be honest with you, when you get to that point like that, it ain't enough talking in the world. When it first happened, it's like, okay, okay, okay. Oh no, I can't do it.
That is real right there.
mhm.
The triple okay, okay. It's the triple okay is how you know it's not okay.
And then when they say, "Are you sure you're okay?" and you go, "I'm fine." Yeah, and you know exclamate it with "fine." Yet, oh, step away.
No, I'm not okay with that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of yeah. At that time, you just got to process. That's what I would say.
You
Ah,
know what's so great about that? I'm gonna try to spin it a little bit. Is he sure as heck learned a lesson. He learned on how to not be a piece of whatever. And he learned how to better treat someone. Unfortunately, it was, it's that perceived, yeah, he's holding it together now, but does that mean that he's really authentically there? Or did he just say, okay, this will look better the second time. If I just do it this way, it'll look better for me, you know? Is the person still a genuinely good person? As long as your daughter is learning the great ways to be treated by a male, that's most important, I think. And I'm glad that you're able to share that.
Oh yeah, and I love that baby. I look great. So congratulations. That's a great way to look at it.
Hey, and you are not in jail now because she's clearly typing. You didn't slap nobody. You did it, girl. CPN Texas.
Well, and she says she knows because God has my blessings for me now. And you know, so she has that understanding. There might be that sting to it, which is understandable. Um, but you know that greater things are coming, and that's fantastic that you can see that. Just understand that that sting isn't going to last forever. Keep moving that energy, and by this spring, I can feel it. By this spring, you're going to see him at birthday parties or different events and stuff, and with her, and it's not even going to phase you. You're just going to be like, you're just going to wish them happiness. You're going to hope they're happy.
yeah, 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 yeah. That yeah. I'm just speaking for the people that was not there yet. That's like, okay, okay, okay. It's like it's no words when it first hits you. It's like, all right, what do I do with that? That moment it hits you, you hit that panicky thing. Your mind goes dead and blank, and you just like, oh wow. So this is what we're doing now. All right. So
Jada, that's beautiful. That
mhm.
is truly an unconditional way. It's an unconditional loving way to look at that situation,
It
because it
is.
sounds like that was kind of a rough situation for you.
Is this Jada's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My karmic, I had to reevaluate those situations. My karma used to break me down on site, but we had towers, and if nothing else, I learned from it and hope what we went through made him a better man for someone else. That's a beautiful thing. Yep.
I feel bad. I feel not bad actually. I feel fine about the fact that I'm laughing because I'm like, and my ex is still, working on himself. That's the nicest thing I can say. He is working on himself. He may appear to be able to pose as a better man, but until he cleans his inner energy, he is just he is posing as the light, posing as the light. He is a he might just be a spiritual f boy if you know what I'm saying.
You supposing. You is not authentic. You ain't keeping it 100. You supposing. he wasn't my person, so go in peace, find himself. And that's true. Yeah, certain ones,
That
yes.
is, that's a great way to look at that.
To say, okay, you go and move on to the next one. It didn't, if it would have been, it was supposed to be, would have worked out like it was supposed to. And you could give them the sign of the cross, my blessings, and say, I hope you're happy with the next one. And I mean, genuinely meaning, not that I hope you're happy
CP in Texas. I am so
with it.
sorry. That man, I'm glad you like
So,
you let go of that because you don't need that. And
And
he would have repeated that cycle because he could get away with it. You
and
know?
see,
That's
CP in Texas, immediately when I read that, I thought of my sorority sisters. You know, I told him she's she's able to give him something that I couldn't, and hopefully it doesn't involve penicillin. But you, if he's not being faithful, sooner or later that's going to catch up with him. So,
oh my
girl,
God.
you're so. I mean, just in the years of being in, you know, just this last, you know, few months and being in chats with you and, you know, knowing your story, you have grown so much.
Oh, yes.
And you know, it just is totally, talk about a phoenix story.
She has.
Amazing, amazing. And he's the one that missed out, but you know what, that one wasn't for you, so only better things are to come, dear.
Right. That's not the time right now, but yeah, most definitely. It was something. Oh yeah, I see. That's funny. She said that because what's his name? Boss Tarot. I think it's something like that.
yes,
Boss
he
Tarot.
totally
Was
was talking about
he
that.
talking the
Mhm.
karmic gonna get? It's gonna be STI situation.
She sent me Divine Sunshine. You sent me this. I almost wanted to send that to you too and be like, you remember when you sent me that little reading from a week ago? And I was like, oh, so she's a hoe? And that's what I was like, yep, Boss Tarot was talking about that jealousy that
Yeah,
people have about you and your union. That jealousy they have
Hmm.
about the connection that can it's just an unspoken thing. And they're
yeah.
so consumed by it that they're taken over by their own shadows. Like when you're really shining in your light, it pulls everyone's shadow right out of them.
Ain't that the truth?
And that's why we
Hmm.
are like that's why she got trigger warning because she walk out on the street just triggering everybody. She'd be like, I might as well just put a warning on it.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, yeah. That's why I said we're not exempt either, because sometimes we bring that out in each other. Although we're twin flames or light workers, we're not exempt. So sometimes our light is a little dim, and it's like, what happened? Okay, let me bring this out to remind you why it's not as shining as bright as you think that it would be. But yeah, what happened? Is there somebody else? CPN saying,
Well,
girl.
and Jada, that phrase, you know, is that is not my monkey, not my circus.
Right, there you go. Take that.
You
And she said she hugged her and said, tell her, day. Oh, good dokie. Let me be quiet.
Oh,
I'm not.
you know what? I'm CPN in Texas. I am definitely taking that page out of your book, and I am saving that for a later date because I do
Right, there
see
you
that
go.
happening.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much. You are a godsend. May God bless you and keep you, because you gonna need it.
Thank I was out of words. Then I couldn't come up with what you said. What I wanted to say, like, okay, interest on thing. Company said she rolled the floor my ass off. Oh my God, this has been a good, interesting Friday. Where is she at before I start close out? Because we've been on here at 142, but that's good. Amen. Yes, amen. Amen to
We
everything.
got a diaper situation. We got a diaper
We got that situation.
situation.
Okay, so let's keep on talking. Okay, I'm lost. I don't know. What do you mean you lost, Gemma? You journal it and plan and yeah, I seen him walking with that E and that E now. And I'm gonna do 3, 5, 6, and 9 on that. Okay, I'm gonna plan.
Now, you know, you are my sunshine. It depends on what state you're living in, on what herb you're allowed to plant on it.
There you go.
So if you are not in the proper state for that, please do not tell them we told you to. So because
Yes.
that, I mean, ultimately, that would actually, if you burn it and you bury it and you plant it and it grew and then you dried it and you burned it and you smoked it again. I mean, that is transmuting at its finest. I would have to say, not that I am condoning any of that, but
yes, Kathy, I was thinking that. That's really like blowing it, and there's like really blowing on the peace pipe, like this.
yeah, I mean, because now you're taking it from ashes to now it's a gas, and so you're all the elements. Yeah.
You have clearly created full alchemy into peace.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
Unless you got one of them intense energy strains.
Right. I turn stress into peace.
Gemma, honey, listen, don't stress over not knowing what is in the light and what is darkness. Ask for guidance, ask for help from your angels, from your guides, from the universe, from whoever you ask for help from, and it's going to come to you. Yes. Journal about it. The more you stress about it, the more blocks you put up to it. Just breathe, sweetheart. You're getting it. And, not for me.
My ex used to call it anticipating the shot.
Yeah.
You're doing so hard. You're tensing so hard trying to get it right and perfect.
Right.
That you're gonna miss your mark because you're tense. If you just allow yourself to breathe into flow, it makes things a lot easier. So just let it go. Like distract yourself from it a little bit so that you can have a better perspective when you do come back into whatever it is at that point.
Yeah, Benita said ask to be shown clearly, and you will.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, and trust me, if anybody knows it, that woman does. Trust me, she will ask and it will be shown clearly. But love.
If you're already in a state of being overly excited and overwhelmed, you need to take a step back, ask for clarity, and then wait for it to appear. Not doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get the clarity, because it's just you've already knocked on that door plenty of times and they're not answering. They're now hiding in the back room or the back of the house. You know what I mean?
Right. I like this. Jada asks, does ascending cause you to isolate yourself?
Absolutely. We mean the whole planet? You mean the whole shutdown of the whole planet? As ascending cause you isolation? Apparently, it gets state mandated.
Right, there you go. That's true. That is true.
Now, You Are My Sunshine. She had another one. We were talking about how to double transpose those feelings. Okay. And she made the suggestion mustard seed. Okay. And to grow a mustard seed, and that grows into a huge tree. So that would be way to do it. Okay. Then she also said you can do chamomile and then do a tea.
Okay. And I could drink my
then you could drink it and you could ingest it and let your body transmute it. So those are wonderful. I love those.
Yeah. I personally like to smoke it, but I could go with the tea.
There's just this little thing called a state license that we can't. But for everyone else that can, we can, secondhand.
We can smoke in Chicago. We got the marijuana dispensaries and all that stuff. We got that.
That's not fair.
We got medical stuff. We could do it.
Oh yeah, well see,
even legal in Florida yet?
No, we can even have a prescription for it, and there's a chance we could lose our licensing.
Oh yeah.
So, us and the truck drivers down here are screwed. It's not fair at all.
Hey, I just had this funny thought. Is that what helped with the elevation of the planet? When all the states went legal and people went up.
Maybe. It might be possible. I don't know. But like you said, I mean, that shows you right there as far as Earth and everything in the world, we went on this time to ascend and how we just went on shutdown. So we isolate. We got isolation all over the place. So that's a real good example of, yes, where it's time to ascend, how you will be isolated because it's a time for change. We're moving into the age of Aquarius. And so, yeah, that's just the world, even in Mother Gaia and everything is showing us that, yeah, that's just a natural effect for that to happen because you want to, just like a butterfly cocoons itself, it goes into there, doesn't want to be touched. It does its breakdown of that transmuting and to making itself from one physical form to another, and then when they merge, it has the wings so it can be able to ascend. So that is right there from nature. We can always pattern on as far as what's the, what we should be doing. And so, yeah, that's a natural form of process where you would want to cocoon, get into your own little chrysalis and say, I don't kind of really want to be bothered with anybody else's energies. That same thing like with Jesus when he was getting ready to ascend. He told them, don't touch me. I've not sent it to my Father yet. So, I mean, it's like so many things, again, as you're trying to get the information and things. That's another way of looking at it as well. Another song, Age of Aquarius. Age of, I don't feel like Aquarius, Aquarius. That's another one. All that. Thank my mom for making me fall asleep to soft rock songs.
To everything, turn.
Right.
There is a season, turn.
Hit it.
And a time to every purpose unto heaven. Woo!
I like that. All right. Beautiful. All right.
Yes.
Well, we are. Yes, and we are glad you came to the Sandbox too. You are my sunshine. Because she said she's glad she came. She's having a blast. So we're glad you came.
Energies are cray. They're so cray. We're still doing the episode, and we do not do 2-hour episodes.
I know it.
I don't know what today. We don't do no 2 hours. But that's all right. Because I feel the energies. I think, who was that? Was that you, Tara? They say each episode we get better and better. You feel the energy, the increase. It was somebody. Was it you, Tara? I think that might have been.
Cool, Tara.
They say each time they watch our playground, to them it gets better and better. Looks like with the energy and stuff, she says she can feel it. I'm trying to remember, but I thought it might have been Tara. I had stated that.
Do you need your flame permission? Do you need your flame permission? No, you don't. That is super cool. That's pretty cool. If that is correct, that gives a whole new meaning to holy smoke.
Yeah. Is there evidence showing the Bible was translated in Greek incorrectly and missing ingredient to holy oil is cannabis? No, they are different plants. Oh, okay. All right.
No, we don't know. That wasn't a real question. But the question that's a real question is 338 Gemma Howard. Do you need your flame for the mission? No, you do not need your flame for the mission.
No. You don't need that. No, you do not need that. And any average Joe can do that.
Oh, happy birthday. Was it 22 or 21 or 25? What was it?
Is that today? Hold on a second. I'm on the wrong thing.
That's what I'm saying. We love
it. It is her birthday, Kiki.
All right.
Happy birthday.
This was my specialty. There's even Yelp reviews about it from the restaurant I used to work at.
2 hours.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dearest Kiki. Happy birthday to you.
All right, now wait a minute, Kiki. The other night, it was your anniversary, your 25th birthday. Now it's the anniversary, your 22nd birthday. Girl, keep it straight. I'll go with 22nd with you, but you got to at least give me the right, information. And today is my nephew's birthday too, so I'm very
Gemma Howard. We're singing happy birthday to Kiki because it's her birthday either today or tomorrow. I'm still a little confused because
it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
She's at least 25.
We celebrate a whole month. A whole month. It's a culture thing.
It's a birthday year. It's a very merry birthday to me.
I think that's just a divine feminine thing. That's your birthday's a whole month. It's a divine thing. Because, yeah.
I like to call it Be Earth Day because it's the day I really get to be a part of the earth. Right now that I'm on this side of the mothership,
who brought me in. And every day I get to be Earth, so why not it always be my birthday? It's just a solar return. Solar return. Sorry.
Answer. Good answer. Good answer. Final answer. Good answer. On the 20th.
Survey says.
Survey. Ding, ding, ding. This is our solar birthday. Yeah. Number one answer.
Why are you eating them? Why are you eating that whole pie by yourself? Well, it's my because it's always my birthday. You know, I got to keep up on these things. You can't do it.
You know what? It's funny. CPN in Texas says I'm 30 every year, and I used to be like that until. But teaching middle school, they always ask you. We play a game, and it says I must ask you a question, and I tell them they can ask me anything they want. You know, I need to know about them. They need to know about me. I've learned creative ways to answer these questions, and so they always ask me how old I am. And 9 times out of 10, when I tell them, you know, I'm 47, most of the kids honestly go, "No, really?" I always have those few that go, "Wow, you're just a few years younger than my grandma," and I'm like, "Great, thank you." Yeah. But then, you know, when they'll say, you know, "Well, how much do you weigh?" I'm like, "Less than I did and more than I want to." Next question. You know, so but yeah, I just kind of gave it up on trying to hide what my age was. I'm 47, proud of it. Proud to be sucking air on earth another day. But I think that's funny that you guys are you know, choosing an age to stick with. I'm actually, you know what? I'm looking forward to getting older. I am, because you know what? I know that my DM's coming in, and we know that that's going to start going reversed, and we're going to look younger. If anybody that doesn't believe that, look at one of our first episodes of the playground.
Okay.
And then look at one of ours like now, like in the last 2 weeks, and all three of us look so much younger than we did.
What? I got to go back. I got to check this
out. Oh yeah. You should go back and look at it. It's we look so much younger.
So much younger. That's what I heard. Being a twin flame that does that to you. We eternally young from the energies. What you see? Who's next? Who's up?
I don't know. Somebody just said no. No, really, you look 57. I don't know who that's to, but if I look 50, I don't know if I.
Where's this mute button at? Why you mute something?
Yeah, he's made some comments.
No, I'm 50 and
what?
Yeah. Who is this, Nate? Who you talking to?
I don't know, but I don't like what Nate's saying up at 8:42.
Yeah, you got to go, sir. Where my thing at? Goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Nate, there, you know what? No soul has any color.
Right.
And that's probably the first lesson you need to learn.
Right. You're gone. He's gone from there. I didn't even see that. Somebody did that show and told me.
Well, I'll tell you though, Kiki, you do not look 45. And she's another one. If you ever see her in person, she looks in her 30s.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You always got that stuff.
My DM looks like a chocolate Santa. Oh, how cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're then going to see it with our counterparts. When we come into union, we're going to watch them get younger.
Yes, yeah, because right now no. That's what I won't say right.
Right now they look a little tired, but
yes.
I gave him the gray hair. I love it.
You gave it to him? Yeah, I think he gave it to me. I wasn't graying that much. He gave it loud. I call it my wisdom. Sorry, I had enough. Okay, all right. I could stop gas. I don't know. You talk about the guy, well, he's gone.
He's gone.
On that one. Let's see. I'm trying to wait for her to come back. But I didn't want to end without her. Fairy dust, yes, gone. Bye. Yeah. Well, he's gone. Somebody should have hollered in the thing to say about that.
Yeah, we were just chatting away and didn't even pay any attention to it.
Oh, he been bugging. thought Shasha, you was a that just remind me. I thought you were a administrator. You not? I'm trying to see on that. Okay, so I have to go back through there and see. I make Benita. I have to, now she's got whatchamacallit. I have to do that. And pick some other people, some regulars on there. We do this Friday, CPM.
Now we did talk about this as we go back to school. We're talking about doing the live part once a month, giving you guys a week's or a month's worth of shows to bring your questions in. So let us know what you think about that. If you think that this is something that we should maybe, if we're going to cut back, maybe cut back every 2 weeks, not cut it back to once a month. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, David last week. Yeah, I say some masculines have been misbehaving in my classroom. It must be something going on last week. That wasn't divine.
Don't tell me that. I got to face them Monday.
That wasn't divine. That was straight distortion right there that came on through there.
Jada says I'm gonna need 2 weeks. So Jada'd like to put in her, her time for every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay. I could dig that every 2 weeks.
I think we could do that.
I think so. Maybe 1 week might be a little stretch in it, but every 2, okay. So that just
I think we could do that.
Yeah,
I need you.
Oh, that one. Yep.
Yeah, you all have to know I want it every week. You guys have to understand we both teach as well as everything we do on this channel. April's got her just gorgeous little person that you can hear in the background, and she's got her wonderful business going. If you haven't checked her out, go check out her website. Amazing things, amazing sales.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with the Yanni Steam, go check her out. That is the most amazing thing you could ever do. I mean, I literally, as I look for a new house, am looking for somewhere that is like one of the now qualifications on the house going, yeah, no, I couldn't do it in that bathroom. Next house. So definitely check her out. But so we've got other things going on than what a lot of people see. So sometimes we're a little stretched when we slide in sideways.
I like that. Girl, you coming up with them good sayings tonight. Go on, let me get my pit out. Stretch sideways. What was the other one? I was like, it was good.
I don't remember. I don't know. Source just kind of plops them in and out they come.
Tell people like, what did you say in my reading? I like to say, I don't know what the hell I said. I don't know what the hell I said.
What are you talking about? That's what I tell my kids.
Right. I'm just glad we're recording it. There's an opportunity to find
There we go.
Right. There you go.
I love it. Not codependent or anything. I understand if you can't. Trust me, if we enjoy this, we love this.
Yeah, I do.
It's just sometimes we have those outside sources, namely family, that we have to take care of. Little children start opening the door and looking in like, with an empty plate, like, may I have some food, please?
Right. And I got a recycled teenager and a furry daughter. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I have a furry daughter, a teenager, and a tiny teenager. So
yes. There you go. That's what we had there. All right, then let's wrap it up. All right. I don't think we got any other questions. We got
yeah, if you don't know what the Yoni Steam is, Kiki has it down for us. It's a facial for your lady parts. Just don't get it too hot and burn them off.
Right.
That's from
It's a pleasurable experience, not a torture cleaning.
No.
No, not at all. Yeah. It's pleasurable. Yeah. A lot of tears, a lot of coming up, everything within yourself. It's something that you should experience. If you say once a lifetime, but once you do it, you'll be addicted to it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Well,
I'm scared to do it, but
we spend so much time like not listening and letting our wombs speak. Every part of us speaks. Like, now we're tuning into our hearts. We're tuning in, learning that the mind doesn't control everything. A lot of the programming in society is spirituality is not real. Your body, right? And they try to get you into these boxed forms. But once you start to awaken into your intuition, into the flow with your body, the part that makes us female, the womb space, that steaming. Even I mean, they even have king steams too. So men can do this, but it's slightly different, and it's a little bit more temperamental because balls don't need heat like that. Where do I find this? Oh, she's gonna post it up in just a second. Made for this.
Right. I was just waiting for you.
And I've got some nice sales going on for August. I decided to extend it to all of August. I've got some really interesting. You can talk to me about anything at madefordhisgoldenlife.com. Why the golden life? Because do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and you were made for this golden life. That's why we having all these issues right now with the beefs, and it's like, oh, we still doing that? Y'all fake now? No, so we can do past life. We can do all kinds of really cool stuff. Energy work, clearing. I got some cool sales going on for like short clearings, which I usually give you a little bit more time than what is on the purchase. But I want you to know that I'm here for you. Anyway, I've got some sales to August. I might extend them to September, October. I don't know. That's kind of whatever spirit guides for me. But madefordhisgoldenlife.com, my website. And Kathy D does amazing work.
Hit that real quick before you sign off. Hit that real
Do all these
quick.
emotions come up on their own during Uni Steam? Yes. Whatever you need to, it comes out in layers. Whatever you feel safe enough to explore, your body will allow you. And then she'll start. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead. And then I was going to.
You're closer to your first experience than I am. So you should explain.
I mean, it's not a rough purging, it's not this sobbing, horrible like experience. It's just, you're just sitting there in this meditative state, and it's those big soft crocodile tears are just coming down your face, and you just feel this release and this freedom of all these things that have been just kind of tamped down in you. And depending on where you need the work, mine is a lot in the root. So it was just a lot of just general, just that steam was just like releasing and opening that chakra and moving that energy. And it was beautiful, but it so did the work of the purging, just not in that, face in the pillow, sobbing, screaming, wanting to kill someone. It was just that beautiful release. And that's the best part about it. And if you get energy work with April and you do the big package, which I have done, and I highly recommend it. And if you're lucky, nephew will play the drums for you as you're doing this. But then, she knows a lot of what's going on with your body and your system, and then makes this beautiful Yoni steam just for you.
Yes.
And I think that is, if you've really got a lot of blockages, like I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and all these kind of things, and just, the release of that and the difference I've seen in my body from doing it is amazing.
She softened right up. She went full femme on us. One day she came out all decked out with the makeup and the hair, and I was like, all right, we knocked some stuff loose, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
That is true. That is true. I would say even my first experience, it was just a release. But by the time I became a little bit master of it, it came to full blown, like ugly cry, like really moving and crying for myself, and then crying for the DM, and then crying for my parents, and then crying for the world, and then crying. It's like, oh my God, it was just like I was purging for everybody. Mm-hmm. By the time, I think maybe by my third one, it opened up more.
Yes.
That's just myself.
You get comfortable with it. You get comfortable with your body. Mm-hmm. You feel safe in your environment, and then you allow yourself to have that. And that will happen throughout your whole process, mm-hmm. right? No matter what you're doing, because I've got wonderful insights from working with both Bertina or Divine Sunshine and Kathy D. And there's some amazing work that she did with that hypnotherapy session, even though I did be partially asleep. It was really early for me, to be fair.
Actually, it was very late for you. It was very early for me.
Oh, that's right.
But you needed the sleep, and that's the thing. You needed the sleep. You had given the consent to it. You knew what we were going to talk about, so you went right into it, and that was fine. So
I was like instantly hypnotized.
So yes,
it's always funny when you hear them snore when you're doing the hypnotherapy. So
like damn, I really did my job, didn't I?
see now, if I was really being a true friend and had thought about it while nephew was laying there, I could have been like, "You will quickly potty train. You will not give mommy any trouble. You will be a big boy and you will not need diapers."
He did it though the other day. He went in the potty. I said, "You just go
Yay.
there," and he did
Yay!
it. Now to get him to do it again consistently.
See, Jackie used to, go in her diaper and then hold out her hand and go skittle, because I would give him a skittle for going. Like Helen was like, she had it down 2 weeks. She was done. That was it. She didn't mess around. Jackie, sit there, go through all these books. She'd read and read and read. And then she'd get up and she'd never fail, go right in her diaper. And she'd look at me and go, "Mummy, I went potty." And I'm like, "In the potty?" She goes, "No, skittle." I'm like, "No, you don't get a skittle for going in your diaper." But she was watching. It was so hard to say no because she was watching all these little British shows. And so it was, "Mommy, I've gone potty. I've gone potty, Mommy." I'm like, "Oh, you get a skittle just because you're so stinking cute." Or she'd ask for a lolly, or what is it? An ice pop, and she'd say, "Mommy, may I have a frozen lolly, please?" Uh-huh.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
cute.
That is so
Hmm.
cute.
Yeah, we'd be going around Disney, or she'd see the cups of the frozen lemonade, and she'd say, "Oh, Mommy, an ice lolly!" And everybody's like, "Oh, look at her." And I'm like, "She's from
She's from
Florida."
Florida.
She just walked in the door and looked at me like, "You're telling my story?"
Yes, and it's hilarious, niece. Yeah, we're laughing with you, not at you. That's what we
Oh
do.
yeah.
That's how you manifest an ice lolly right there.
There you go.
An
Do it.
ice lolly, please, Mommy.
Yes. So you want some more pineapplefistlikecoaching.com, and you see about the Jedi mind trickster over there. She even tried to make the mind trickster her children into speaking English like they're Brits, like they've been born and raised there. All their life. You need to come hit up Kathy G on that one. And April already told you about all the magnificent things that she's doing, but I do it just in case you've forgotten. Made for this, go to life.com. Make sure you hit there with all those great things. The Yoni's theme, also the body clearings that she does, and she's got the salt baths too. Don't forget that you do that too, as well, that you can add in it. I've tried that. That's beautiful, wonderful, and very cleansing and clearing out all the toxins out of your body too. I came and walked away from that with a brand new body, and I could feel like all of that energy had been drawn out from the bath that she has sent me with that Hawaiian goodness in there. So make sure that you check out for that as well. All that Hawaiian goodness.
I can't wait to get all that stuff for my new bathroom.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes, must try, must try. So that was beautiful. And that's, of course, if you want to try me, also divineunisource11.co for those good readings, and you see and drawing the cards to see what's going on and check into you. Please make sure that you also do that. Right now, my thing is the Divine Unisouls Love Letters. That's still going on for $22. And then also the time frame, union time frame reading, where I give you at least a time frame as to when your union should happen. That's with yourself, or whatever question you want to know about union. That means coming together. I can answer that for you too as well. So that's $22 as well. Go to divineunisource11.co for that. And remember, don't forget, we plugged ourselves, and it's not shamelessly. We're plugging ourselves because we believe in ourselves. So we also have the playground experience as well. So you get all three of our services as well. We got to come up with a date when we're saying we're finishing this, but it is coming up soon. I want to even say it to the end of August, and then after that, it's gonna get flipped into higher prices. We're gonna give you a little bit more time, but again, utilize this, especially with these energies. It's needed. We'll keep it there until then, and then afterwards, it'll roll up until like September 1st to September. Then we will change that out, and then it'll be move the prices up, so we can have that fair energy exchange between us. Make sure that you get spiritual, you get the body, and you get the mind as well. Those three components, because that's how you get holistic healing and movement and progress to the next level when you invest in yourself in doing that. So you can go check out the playground experience. You come up with the topic, and then we'll build a program around that. Okay, ladies, let's get us out here. This has been a stone cold blast. Love, peace, and like the soul train. But anyway, get us on out of here, Kathy D.
All right, make sure you get your own buckets and shovels. Empty the shoes out of, or your shoes. Empty the sand out of your shoes. Clean up all of your virtual juice boxes, and shake the sand from any other orifices you may have them after we've been in the sandbox for 2 hours. And wishing you the best life ever. See you real soon.
There's sand in my eyes.
I thought you said sand in your ass, but I'm sorry. Go on.
There's sand in my hair. It takes like 3 days after going to the beach for my hair to dry out enough. I don't know, like all the sand releases from the mystery crinkles. And I think when a little puff of my little fro comes off, I'm like, oh, look, there goes another universe starting off over there. It just tumbles and collects and collects. Anyway, thank you all for meeting or joining us here today, asking questions, having fun with us, we have plenty of old episodes to check out. There's healings and meditations all throughout all of them. So there's tons of information, and you're welcome.
And you can check out how much younger we look.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. I want to check out too.
Or older. I feel like we look younger now.
That's what I was saying. If you look at one of our first videos compared to now, we look so much younger.
Get the heck on out of here. I'm sure
that is part of the journey. Congratulations. You can do 25 forever.
How can I get that twin flame package? I don't know if you want that.
Watch out. The adventure might be bumpy, but you look good.
Right, there you go. That's a beautiful thing. And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste. Namago. All right, love you all. Thank you.
Bye. Love you guys.
Stay gold.